What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of GIDLE's second album, 2. Of course, GIDLE back. They were not away. They had a massive year in 2023. Of course, their last Korean release, the EP I Feel, came out, and then also separately, they had their 88 Rising English language debut, Heat, in the fall. And I think ultimately I had two very differing reactions to GIDLE's 2023. I thought the English stuff was just kind of a bit bland, honestly. Didn't feel as inspired or as, quirky and personality filled as a lot of the GIDLE music. Contrast that, of course, with I Feel from earlier in the year, which had the massive hit single Queen Card, one of my top 10 K-pop songs of the year. Check that out if you missed it, youtube.com/nostalgiapod. And I Feel was more in line with what you expect from GIDLE, which is one of, if not the most successful K-pop group that is not on one of the big 4 K-pop labels, of course, signed to Cube Entertainment, a much smaller company. And 2 is another Cube release, another Korean release. And I think this is certainly in the vibe of what you expect from past GIDLE Korean releases. And I think this one's ultimately pretty fun. There's some good takeaways for sure. I gotta say though, GIDLE calling this their second full album when it's 8 songs, 20 minutes, 55 seconds, it's only like 3 minutes longer than I Feel, which they call it an EP. I really don't understand these delineations at all. I'm just going to stop trying to figure it out, to be honest. Nonetheless, jumping into 2, and again, having high expectations because I loved Queen Card so much. They definitely had great momentum. And I think also having a high standard for this group because GIDLE is one of the rare K-pop groups that really self-produce. They really do all their own writing and co-writing. Soyeon in particular, really a creative force behind the group that she leads. You love that about them. That's why they're a group to invest in. And that remains the case with 2. Jumping in, you have the title track, Super Lady, which has been getting a lot of comparisons to like second-gen K-pop because it's very maximalist, it's very big, it's very throwback in that sense. And the chorus in particular, rather those pre-choruses, really lend themselves to that comparison. Ultimately, I think what holds me back from this song, which has a lot, I think, fun elements to it, a lot of fun performances in it, is the hook is ultimately just kind of repetitive and underwritten. The lady, call me super lady part, that's just weak, and in contrast to the rest of the song, which I think is really fun and upbeat and quirky and different and jumping around like a lot of GIDLE music. So I was kind of mixed on Super Lady overall. Nonetheless, I do appreciate the attempt, I guess you could say. Revenge, I thought the drumline production was pretty cool, solid nonetheless, or overall. Doll, track 3, I thought was really catchy. Loved the chorus from Yugi. I thought the synths were really cool, the guitar line kicking in. I love the production on this. I think Doll is a straight up banger. Probably my favorite song on 2. Vision is, pretty fun rap flow. Honestly, I enjoyed that. I love when the drum tempo comes in, kind of picks up, get some nice snares there. 7 Days, I think this one's probably my miss on the track list here. Beats kind of muddled, just doesn't really leave a big impression for me. Fate, kind of light, kind of upbeat, fun. I think the chorus though is kind of just okay, but the melody is there. Like you hear the melody even if the chorus doesn't quite grab you. So kind of mixing that song overall. It also has one of those classic K-pop, like the second verse is rap for no reason, doesn't really add anything, feel a little unnecessary. Roly was certainly interesting to me as a hip-hop fan. This is a K-pop rap song. You have Yugi name-dropping Kobe Bryant. It's a banger. It's very flexy, very braggadocious, very hip-hop indebted for sure. To me, though, these kind of K-pop songs can lean a little corny, to be honest. It kind of reminds me of a song like Lisa's Money, Lisa of Blackpink. Like, I think sometimes these just come across as a bit cringy, as a bit try-hard. But if the flow is there or like the production is there, I can usually get behind it. And ultimately, I think Rolly's pretty fun, pretty catchy, even if the lyrics are kind of shallow. And then you have the last song, Wife, which is actually the lead single, before the title track. I appreciate that release pattern here. And this is kind of like a Queen Card sequel from a lyrical sentiment, in terms of satirizing and being super campy about what it's talking about. Pretty playful. Also really fun music video with all the wigs. I think this definitely has some viral potential for sure. And it's pretty fun. And yeah, I think do I like any of these songs as much as I did Queen Card, less than a year ago? No, I don't. But I think there's still some fun takeaways from it, and ultimately it feels like a very much within the DNA of what you expect from GIDLE, which again are kind of a unique status, both in terms of how they exist outside the major system, but also unique in, I think, the musical identity that they have that isn't really matched by really anyone else in K-pop. So they remain a pretty interesting group to me. And yeah, shout out GIDLE. Let me know, what'd you think of 2? Did you like it more or less than their past work? What's your favorite song? And for more K-pop reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.